Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of my single species park. Probably the most complex build of a single species park I've done so far. I like it actually. I'm quite proud of the design of this one. It's on Sanctuary Island, and if you're a bit eagle-eyed you'll be able to see which dinosaur it's full of. This is Nasutoceratops. It's a 5-star park as usual. I'll just take you on a bit of a guided tour, as it were. This is the entrance over here. You'll see the pathwork design is mostly squares. Artistic started off with a sand base across the whole island, and we've got several exhibits housing all the Nasutoceratops. I can't remember exactly how many there are. We will check that in a minute. We can take a whistle-stop tour with the range team, but there are no gates in any of these enclosures, so it's not going to be a particularly thralling drive through, because I'm not going to go through any of the enclosures. I am so bad at driving this thing, but I have turned invincible vehicles on for that reason entirely. Yeah, so let's have a sit down here. I've put the ranger vehicle as far away from everything as possible. You'll see the greenhouse for the paleobotany system. I tend to use that a lot in my single species parks just to bump up the rating a little bit, because obviously need all the help we can get, so we don't have to pack all the enclosures out. The enclosures aren't too busy in this one, but they're probably a little busier than I would like. But it's sandbox, so you know they don't care. There we go. It's a very large island, this sanctuary, like in general. I don't know what you guys are looking at. Oh, every time with these paths and flipping flags. Right. There's a couple clipping together just there. Hopefully that won't be a thing in the new game, but we'll see in November, I suppose. A bit of, how do we say it? Oh yeah, decorative water. Just notice these have only got, there's only a trash can on one side of this, folks. Anyway, lots of amenities dotted about next to an overabundance of hotels in this park. Lots of green spaces, lots of open spaces actually between the enclosures. The island's big enough. The enclosures themselves could be slightly bigger for the most part. The transport weighting's quite good because of all the squares linking together as they do. I think last time I looked there's like 3,000 people in here. So you know, why aren't there any trash cans next to every single one of these? Anyway. Very large area over here, lots of sand that nobody ventures onto. Here's another exhibit down here. Lots of different... I'm trying to get away from making completely flat exhibits because I've got a real bad habit of doing that. I'll put water in, I'll put a few rocks in, but then generally speaking it's too flat, so I don't like doing that anymore. There's a feeder down there that needs fixing. Every now and again these feeders just... I think they run out. Let's go and fix that. so that should dispense now. I haven't got any health problems yet in this part, which is unusual because we do generally get a few health problems in these big species parks. Tight turn. But no, I haven't had any issues in this one yet. Obviously it could still happen. Literally while I'm caking on still. This will stop till. Bit of an issue there. Anyway. So this is one of the numerous hotels on the island. I think there's about 7 of them. I'll have a look in a moment. I don't know what happened there. We'll just zip out. We're on the other side of the island now. Yes, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 hotels, all with various amenities around them. Usually the big 3 to some degree. If we just pan over here, you can see. I know what we'll do. We'll go into camera mode. Hey, this is usually a bit where I forget how to control this camera. See, it's quite a nice island. It's very big to build on, and it lends itself quite well to the squares. This one's obviously not a distinct square, but that can't be helped just because of the way I've laid out the paths for the most part. We shall float down here. Nasutoceratops, fairly small in general, so it fits quite well in a single species park like this, because you can really put them into an enclosure in greater numbers. And let's turn that off. You can really put them in. What on earth? You can pack them in and they don't seem too bad. See, look, there's actually quite a few in here. Try and make it as naturalistic as possible with the rocks and the terrain paints, foliage, etc. Lots of viewing towers, not so many galleries in this one, although I generally favour the galleries. I really don't like the shape of them for a square park. When I'm trying to create a square park, as you can see, almost all of the exhibits are squares. Well, as nearest to squares as I can get. You get these odd ones here and there, look. But yeah, the Nasutoceratops is just very helpful in terms of designing the park. I'll probably just stick some B-roll footage, as it were. Trying to sound professional. Of the exhibits, a lot of the exhibits are pretty much the same. There's one over here that's a bit more sort of sandy than the others. I think this one's got like one of every skin type in it. And then you've got, where's the one? There's one in here that's got nothing but base skins in it, or it did have. But yeah, so that's the square park. Like I said, it's taken a while to build this really. It's taken longer to populate it because I built everything pretty much first, and then halfway through decided which dinosaur I was going to put in it. And then it's okay, well, how many am I going to need? It's very difficult to tell how many you're going to need with the single species penalty that they dish out. I did end up creating a little bit of space Gave myself a bit of leeway by putting the Ranger vehicle and the ACU unit, which obviously you need to transport, down here with the hatchery, so that I could then turn it into an exhibit afterwards, which we've done. Let's have a look at the statistics. 5 stars. Like I said, there's 5,000 people in this park apparently. That just goes to show how big it is. So the visibility is not great. I'll show you that in a sec actually. The food, the drink, shopping, this is usually high 90s, 80s. 145 dinosaurs. Just topping that 5,000 rating, which goes up and down because the paleobotany bonus and the scenery bonus, it depends if they're eating or not, and it depends if they're next to a rock, basically. So, unsurprising poor variety. Show you the map. Is this one of the ones we can get it all in one? So close. So yeah, so they're not overly populated there. I mean, they're more than they really should be. And I'm pretty sure if I turned settings back to normal settings, they'd probably all be seriously annoyed. Because I don't know how many... To get the rating up, which is about 76 for each one. I made a few adjustments to the DNA, including messing around with the social group. So they need between 0 and 7 of a social group. But obviously we're in sandbox, it doesn't really matter anyway. But yeah, slightly more than 7 in these things. But comfort threshold, sandbox, doesn't matter. Grassland, forest, doesn't matter. Obviously I try and make it so we're pretty much in the middle for most of these. Otherwise when you look at it, it's like, oh, that's a bit... It doesn't look right. Like it looks too packed otherwise. But then you come down and look at them and they're all hovering in the same place. So what are you doing? There's not even a feeder there. Yes, mate. So, yes, the square park was born. It's not actually too difficult to make paths of squares. It's a bit difficult to then put the fencing on the inside of them and make them work. Like once you get all the way around, you can do like one line's fine, next line's fine. When you try to meet them up at the other corner, can be a bit frustrating. Right, the visibilities that this one's quite well covered. This one is not well covered at all, and I wasn't willing to sacrifice the little cute little square art paths just to put an enclosure in, basically. But there we have it. That is the sanctuary part. If you've got any suggestions as to what the next single species park should be, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I will see you again. Why can't I ride the monorail? Oh, there we go. The monorail goes around all the edge of the park, obviously. So I shall leave that here, and I shall see you again.